Hey guys, we are in the university area of Charlotte right now. We're right now, very active situation. You can see dozens of CMPD officers here in riot gear squaring off with protesters regarding a CMPD officer-involved shooting today. Here's what we know so far. This apartment complex called The Village, it's in the university area of Charlotte. Police say they showed up here to try and serve a warrant. When they got here, they say they found a man in a vehicle with a handgun. They say that man threatened them, so they shot and killed him on the spot. Now, this man's family has a much different story. The family says that he was only holding a book and that he was unarmed. Let me move out of the way real quick. He was only holding a book, that he was unarmed, and he was simply waiting on his kids. But CMPD has a bottle being thrown. Watch out. All right, stuff's being thrown now. Let's back up a little bit here. We apologize for any on-air profanities you might hear. Obviously, very live situation here. But I want to bring in Brett Baldeck, because Brett, you spoke to the victim's family here, and what do they have to tell you?
Yeah, the victim's family was on scene all day today. They're obviously very upset. We apologize again for the profanity, but you can take a look at the crowd. They're very upset, just like the family. This is Old Concord Road in the university section of Charlotte that is blocked off. Traffic is a nightmare. It's blocked off. They are throwing bottles right now. We're trying to stay out of the way so we don't get injured here, but as Bill mentioned, everybody is upset about this shooting earlier today that happened just around 4 o'clock. The family says the man was not armed and that he was just simply reading a book and waiting for his son to come home from school. He was shot and he later died at CMC. We can see stuff continuing to be thrown at officers. Officers are obviously, as you can tell, wearing riot gear. Obviously, they started showing up here about 90 minutes ago. Bill, I think you have some more you want to add.
Yeah, this is the first kind of time we've seen it start to get a little hectic here. Earlier, it was just people protesting. There was some pushing and shoving. Now there's water bottles being launched all over the place here. We're going to keep backing up. Situation's starting to get a little out of control here. Let's back up a little bit. But again, this is what CMPD has really been trying to stay away from. They never wanted to see this happen. They do a lot of community policing, but as you can see, these folks out here, very upset. Very different stories between the police and the family. The family, again, saying this man was unarmed, that he was only holding a book. The police saying he was armed, that he had a gun, and they say they recovered that gun at the scene. So right now it's a case of he said, she said. CMPD Police Chief Kurt Putney was out having a press conference earlier today. The officer hasn't been identified yet, but he did say, as is standard, he's been placed under paid administrative leave while they're investigating. There's going to be 2 separate investigations going on. One's going to be an internal investigation to see if CMPD policies were applied to. Another one's going to be a criminal investigation to make sure the law wasn't broken. Now I'm going to stop talking for a little bit just so you can get a sense of what's being said here. And again, we apologize for any profanity here. I do want to say we have not seen any arrests yet. Before these riot officers showed up, there was just a lot of shouting. People were blocking the roads, blocking traffic, people getting in officers' faces. There was nothing too crazy happening, but once the police decided to move their lines back, which just started right at the top of our broadcast, that's when people started launching water bottles, and the situation's escalating a little bit right here. As you can guys see, we have Ed, if you can pan up, we got a CMPD chopper using what they call the night sun. They usually use this for hunting down a suspect or any police pursuits, but right now they're just shining it on the crowd right here. All the street lights have been turned off. They keep turning off every 5 minutes or so. We don't know if that's controlled or not, but it's just getting darker and darker. As you can see, they're starting to chant once again, hands up, don't shoot. We've seen this with different protests all across the country when it comes to law enforcement shootings of predominantly African-American men. Now, we have to stress here, we simply don't know what happened. We don't know if the man had a gun or not. Police say he did and that they recovered it. The family says he didn't. He was only holding a book. So we're going to have to let the investigation play out. But as you can see here, these folks, they're not going to wait. They want some justice. They feel that he was unarmed, and this crowd has really grown over the past couple of hours. I'd say there was maybe 30, 40 people when I first got out here. Now there are hundreds, and apart from the water bottles being thrown, really not much violence. Haven't seen any punches, haven't seen any arrests. These officers do have a bunch of zip ties on their back belt, so it looks like they are ready for any arrests if need be. Now, Brett, I understand when you spoke with the family, did they happen to give his age or identify him? Because we haven't heard that from police yet.
The family would not give out their own names or the name of the man who was shot today. What they wanted was the name of the officer, but according to the police chief, he said it's very early in this investigation and they actually want to do an internal investigation. The officer that shot the man is on paid administrative leave, which is standard protocol. I'm now actually looking down Old Concord Road, and you can see there is a sea of police cars behind us in front of these protesters. The road, like I mentioned, is closed, and we're in the university section. It's normally a heavily traveled area, but obviously if you travel tonight, you would want to avoid this area. Protesters do remain somewhat peaceful. I mean, they are blocking the street. They were throwing some water bottles, but that didn't start until about 10 minutes ago. They are shouting at the police. The police are holding their ground. We don't see any major violence. We do see some people who have some signs. I actually see one being spray painted
for that profanity.
Over on the ground right now. I should mention that this crowd has continued to grow throughout the day. I was out here since 4 o'clock when this shooting occurred, and the crowd really started expanding between 7 and 8 o'clock, and now it's actually obviously the largest that we have seen tonight. We're actually going to move our position just a little bit, so bear with us.
All right, you have just been watching some live breaking coverage happening right now in the University City area right now. Bill Malugin, Brett Baldeck, David Santendri on the scene right now as you see these protests that have erupted in the University City area that are ongoing right now from the officer-involved shooting that started about 4 o'clock this afternoon. Now, we have some new information that is just coming into the newsroom here at Fox 46 Charlotte.
Yes, CMPD just emailing out the identities of both the officer who shot this man and also the name of this man. They have identified the man killed as 43-year-old Keith Lamont Scott, the officer involved in this, Officer Brentley Vinson. He's been with the department since July of 2014 and again has been placed on paid administrative leave. This is standard protocol in the case of an officer shooting.
Yeah, and a reset here on exactly what happened. Officers were trying to exact a warrant on somebody in the university area at these apartments when they came across this guy who they thought was the guy that they were looking for. But that guy apparently got out of the car, according to CMPD in their statement that they released earlier, that he was armed with a firearm, got back in the car, but then came back out of the car and with that firearm, and CMPD felt that was an imminent deadly threat to the officers, and then they fired the weapon, striking that man who has now been identified as 43-year-old Keith Lamont Scott. Now,
police say that detectives did recover a gun, but again, Scott's family telling Fox 46 Charlotte that Keith Lamont Scott had a book in his hand, that he was waiting on a bus for his son to get off of that bus.
Yeah, and one of the things here, too, Chief Kurt Putney, in a news conference just a little earlier, was confirming that the man who was killed was not the person that the warrants that the officers were looking for. And they're not sure right now if the man that was shot, Keith Lamont Scott, really knew what was going on here.
Now, taking a look at this live feed of protesters on Old Concord Road, you can see a lot of people holding up their phones. We've seen a heavy social media presence throughout the night. Now, again, the shooting happened just before 4 o'clock. Protesters really started arriving around 8 o'clock. The crowd has grown significantly. Immediately after the shooting, there was family of Keith Lamont Scott. They had a Facebook Live video. Within just 2 hours, that video had more than 300,000 views.
Absolutely, and we want to get back out there live to Bill Malugin. And Bill, if I can ask you real quick, if you can hear me, is how are police handling this? I can see that they are very close with the protesters face to face.
Bill. Hey, Brian, yeah, I can barely hear you, but I believe I heard you ask how the police are handling this. in my opinion, as well as they could, given the circumstances. I've been watching them for the past couple of hours, and they've had people up in their faces, screaming at their faces. They've had, as you can see, there have been water bottles being thrown, but they're not responding to these protesters. There have been people inches away from their face. They are not responding. It sounds like, or it looks like, they've been told not to respond to these protesters. They haven't shoved anybody out of the way or anything. They're just moving their lines down the street, trying to protect the CMPD cruisers. And real quick, I want to bring in David Sintendry. He's with us on scene as well, because David, you have some information, right?
I spoke to police just before the newscast around 9:58, had a one-on-one with a CMPD officer. Here's what he was telling me. He was saying, be ready. They're trying to clear the scene. Now, I want to let you guys know why they're out here in riot gear. They were telling me that's because a group of these protesters had one of the CMPD cruisers surrounded with officers in the car. They grabbed officers in riot gear to get those officers out of the way. They say that's the only reason they're here in riot gear. They say the riot gear is not because of the protesters. They want them to protest. So they're trying to get out of the way here. Again, they told me all CMPD officers are going to be leaving here in a little bit, and that was the plan right about at 10 o'clock at the top of the show, and that's when things started to move. So we're waiting to just see how long they'll be out here, but again, CMPD officers were telling me that they believe they're all going to be out here just in a little while, and they're going to leave these protesters alone, and if any more violence starts to escalate, they'll take it then, but right now their plan is to get out of here. I'm going to send it back to Bill right now for more.
All right, David, thank you. And from everything we can see right now, the police have stopped moving backwards. Right now, they're just engaging with the crowd, maybe moving backward a little bit. Again, live breaking news situation. We're going to take a very quick break, and we'll be right back after this. Stay with us.